Welcome, everyone. This is Pineleaf Needles, and you're listening to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in LOTRO and here at LOTRO Players. And this week we have with us Terry Adwin.
Hi.
Sanswinda.
Hello.
And Black.
Hey, guys.
Hello, everyone. And let's head into the news for this week. And the big news this week is that the update 22 soundtrack is now available on YouTube.
Yes.
And there's a link to the playlist in the show notes. I actually was listening to some of this last night. It's very cool.
Yeah, when I first saw it pop up, because it took some 20 slots on my YouTube subscription feed, when it popped up, I was like, what on earth is this going on? But yeah, it's currently on YouTube, and they're hoping maybe to get onto some other platforms in the near future. But if you wanted to hear the soundtrack to LOTRO Update 22, Legacy of the Necromancer, you can head over to YouTube, and there is a playlist available for that. And a link for it is in the show notes.
I think it's number 11, Tales of Dragonbone, that I'm hearing out while I'm fishing out by the Bones of Smog. It's like very creepy fishing music.
I could imagine. Then let's head to the LOTRO Beacon, and on the Beacon, our front panel this time is from the anniversary, where they are shooting off the traditional fireworks you see at the anniversary event. Lots of fireworks.
Well, that's at the Methyl stage.
Yeah.
You're right. That is at the Methyl stage. Oh, yes, where they really... That's right, because Gandalf is there and for that particular one, and where you try to get off as many fireworks as possible. Which means hopefully you didn't book your your concert to play at the Methyl stage if you are a LOTRO band.
Yeah, that'd be quite busy.
Yeah. So the Rolling Kegs to present Love, a passionate performance, April 25th at Laurelland at the Breland Festival Grounds.
I love the Rolling Kegs.
And they're also calling in all musicals for Crick Hollow Shire Fest Musical Festival, which is opening up applications for performers up at...
As of yesterday.
As of yesterday.
Opened applications yesterday.
Oh, they opened applications yesterday. Okay, so it isn't obsolete. Yes, it just opened up, so click in the link in the Beacon for more details on how to sign up there. That's on Crick Hollow. So if you have any characters if your band is there, or if your band can get alts there in time for the festival, then consider signing up there. And are you ready for this year's anniversary? Fibro Jedi has you covered. He has his 2018 anniversary guide to how to earn tokens quickly.
I don't know about quickly, but
Yeah.
I mean, there's not like a fantastic way to earn tokens, because the anniversary doesn't have like tons and tons of quests.
Right.
But it does actually cover all of the quests.
Disclaimer is not quickly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is useful.
So what about going through and help and delivering the stuff for people can be done quickly if you're a hunter or warden, I guess.
Yeah, but it's only repeatable like twice a week.
Yeah.
Well, there is that detail. So he goes through. Does he also go through the scavenger hunt, or is
The scavenger hunt actually gives you 3 tokens for each one of those you complete, so that's a pretty good way to.
Yeah, but that's certainly not quick.
No, it is not.
That's definitely not quick. No, I actually don't think that he has done the scavenger hunt. I know last year he didn't have alts high enough to complete a lot of that quest. And I was looking for the link, actually, because I'm going to have to go pull up some of the old links to figure out where the heck I'm supposed to go for some of these events. But those are still presumably available from when we did them last year.
Yeah, you pick them up from
Crazy
wherever you
Pants and
were.
Landrum we were all following last year because Crazy Pants had like the best guides.
We are going to have to find that and add a note on that.
I think it was Crazy Pants that was doing them every week. And we were all super grateful because some of them were a real pain.
Oh, yeah. Some of them are real.
Some of them are still a real pain. Thanks.
Indeed, yes.
Yeah, I know I've been going through some of those myself. And one of them, I haven't even figured out how to get started on it yet, much less finishing it.
That was actually the first question that I had about the festival is, wait, where is this? Where's the Stone of Eric? And then, how am I supposed to get there at level 25?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's where you call in some friends in order to...
Amon Hin? I haven't seen... What? I'm still only level 25. What do you mean it's a high-level place?
Yeah, there are some... Yeah, that's right. This year there are a few that take you up into Northern Mirkwood, so...
Welcome to level 115, everybody.
Yes. And even at 115, it's still not a cakewalk.
No, it's really not.
Well, true.
It's best done with friends anyway, because then if you're having trouble and you are feeling the need to gripe, you've got people right there who will share your frustration.
Yes.
That was how I got through it last year.
Yeah. I have at least completed the quest for 11 on one character, but of course, I would like to see if I could finish all 3 of the series instead of just doing one of them. We'll see if I can manage that. Le Ballet de Yao, or however you pronounce that. Anyone speak French well enough to pronounce that properly?
Not at all.
Okay. Les Ballets de Yao is a French site dedicated to the exploration of LOTRO. And for Kinhall, we go from French to German, yes. Yeah. Die letzten Ehre is a long-established German raiding kin on the Belegier server. They're looking for new members who love to raid and do in-game content. You can find out more about this kin by clicking on the link in there. And yes, why can't we just have implemented an easy language like Spanish instead? Let's go to the weekly comment. And our question this week is, what's your LOTRO anniversary year?
Well, I just got my 6-year gift box.
Okay, that's 6 for Terry Edwin.
It's actually been a little bit longer than that, but I came in right after the anniversary.
Yeah, I think when they say anniversary year, they meant which gift box you're getting this year. Very well. Black?
Started in 2008, but the account I'm using was 2010, so I got the 8th this year.
What, your account? Oh, that's right. Your first account was taken over by one of your children or something?
Yes, mine and my wife's both. We had 2 lifetimes. Both of them are by 2 of our daughters, so yeah.
Yes, okay. Very well. It's 8, and your daughters then would be at 10 then.
Yes.
Or less. And Sans?
2.
2. And mine is at 10.
Looking forward to next year when I get the 7-year box and the work dance.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, that is great.
Then on Fansite News, you can check out Dizrian, who takes Volume 1, Book 6 on his level 44 Minstrel. And Nui 7 finishes Gatson's farm on his warden in Louisden. And Bethelian and their crew continue on in their absence storyline with the Osternoth disease and poison instance. And Gamolio Dan collects flowers in the new episode of Let's Play series, where part 96, Flowers and Oats. And in the news this week, they invite you, of course, to come to the 11th anniversary celebrations. They started, well, it says April 20th, I guess yesterday, or I guess late Thursday, I think it was, or something. And of course, they'll also be giving gifts to premium and VIP players, which is where we're talking about boxes earlier. They have updated the event schedule. And Druid's Fire interviewed executive producer Severlin during PAX East.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Looks like we're headed to the Grey Mountains.
Yeah, the Grey Mountains is the big thing that I noticed in that interview. And that would be interesting. I think I ran into something on which explains why we may be running into the Grey Mountains, but that would be a little bit spoilerish on that. So therefore, I'm not going to discuss that yet. But we'll see that in a few weeks, I think, when we reach that point. But there is a teaser, I think, in the latter storyline.
They seem to tease quite a couple different directions. I don't know if it's to throw you off or what.
Yeah, well, since they said that we are going to be going to the Grey Mountains next, I would presume that tease is in the right direction.
Yes.
Though, of course, I think I've also heard a couple of teases concerning Shelob and the like, but they're going to be teasing that for us for quite a while.
Yeah, there was a tease that it was going to be a Minas Tirith.
Well, originally, the producer's letter had said that they had hoped that Update 23 would take us to like Kirathungel and do the Shelob thing, but I guess they ended up deciding that story-wise, there's other things they want to get to before that.
Which I'm okay with.
Yep, totally fine.
I'm sure Sam's is as well.
I wasn't sure whether that was for 23 or for the fall update.
Originally, it was supposed to have been, because according to the producer's letter we got, where they talked about 23 and 22, 22 was Northern Mirkwood and 23 was Kirathungel.
Oh, okay.
And then the plans for 23 have changed. And we should be getting another producer's letter that tells us a little bit more about
what's coming up. Yes.
Oh, yes, they promised one for the anniversary.
Then we'll hope that gets through soon.
But yeah, the Grey Mountains is what they were talking about. Which Druid's Fire was hinting at maybe we'll see Gundabad, and they would refuse to confirm in either way. So now we've all got our fingers crossed that we'll, if we don't get to Gundabad, we'll maybe probably see story bits of Gundabad.
Oh, Gundabad?
Yeah, because Gundabad is basically that corner where the Grey Mountains and the Misties meet.
Ah, okay.
Yep. Full of all kinds of nonsense.
Yeah. And
you listened to the interview and read the transcript.
Then on the screenshot of the week, we've got more fireworks.
Uh-huh. Can't have enough fireworks.
Yeah, I have a feeling we're going to be seeing quite a little bit of that in the future. And Mithalio posts this week's screenshot of the week. Get ready to see lots of fireworks as we begin to celebrate the anniversary. And that is it for the Beacon this week. So therefore, let's head to our store sales. Anything interesting for sale this week?
Well, yeah, actually, which was kind of surprising because we had decent sales last week, and I was expecting LI garbage. But no, we've got free sample this week is plus 5% attack damage for 90 minutes with coupon code attack damage, a TTK DMG now through April 26th, and 20% off select expansions and expansion quests in-game only, enhanced XP supply and Hornbird token, skirmishes and instances, and 100% mark acquisition boosts. So, yeah. Pretty good sales.
Yes, though Black, I think.
Let's not talk about it.
Well, at least you were able to buy 2 of them, right?
So yeah, during the show last week, after I got ribbed about the skirmishes, I bought 2 while I was on the air, and then they come out with the skirmish sale. So I went ahead and finished them all up. I now have all of them from the store. I just got to finish up Mirkwood to get those.
This is why I always tell people, yes, I know you want it, but you really should wait till it goes on sale.
So hopefully there's a storage sale soon because my bags are overfilling left and right every day, and I'm ready.
Well, we've had 2 good sales in a row, so I predict next week will either be crafting stuff or LI junk.
Yeah, I was thinking so too. But I went ahead and did
Nothing
take
anymore.
advantage. I did get the double bonus advantage this week, so I'll be ready.
Let's then head into our site news, where this week is Poetry Week, apparently.
Mm-hmm. Go Pineleaf.
Yes, we'll begin. We'll begin with the Antipodean writer who is presenting with us Melkor's song. He has a bit of a Melkor theme lately.
I think it's because of Mordor.
Yeah, I suppose that would tend to make you think about Melkor. Melkor, his thoughts and music wove in the first theme. His music strove with tunes inspired by Eru's thought. Some Ironer Melkor's music caught and turned their song, tuning their lays to Melkor's purpose, Melkor's praise. Thus Melkor sows discord profound to bring cacophony of sound. Some Einar faltered, others grew despondent, but Iluvatar knew the cause, as near his throne raged round the dissonance of violent sound, disharmonies of endless rage Melkor created in that age. Then Eru stood, his raised left hand signaled his new divine command. He smiled as a second theme began, and beauteous did it seem. But Melkor's discord steadily grew louder, like a storm-tossed sea would jar tempests to contend and overwhelm, submerge, and end the second theme. Then stood Eru, his right hand raised and stern he grew. The next a third theme, soft and sweet, with rippling notes the Einar greet. Its notes made delicate melodies with cogent power. Loud vanities of Melkor blare to straight edge. Engage the theme and vicious war to rage before Iluvatar's own seat. 2 tides of sound and 2 songs meet. The first was beautiful, wide and deep, blended with sorrow that to weep brought wisdom. The other employs harsh unities and brazen noise. To drown the first, the last repeats over again, but vain conceits. So why are its triumphant notes snatched just as fast out of the throats of Melkor singers, then to be incorporated seamlessly and woven into the theme third, contrary to what Melkor preferred? What is afoot? What does this mean? Has Eru all this foreseen? Then Eru stood, when Einar saw his face, there smote with dread and awe. He raised both hands, immediate seized all music, and as one chord released a grand finale, piercing bright as Eru's eye, deeper than night in the abyss, a note more high than heaven. When all sound did die and song had ended, Eru spoke. I am Eru. You all awoke when I made you, you Melkor too. Against me, what think you can do? Your own notes played in my despite. I to my purpose work aright. For not one note, no single thing my will can alter. Therefore sing what notes ye will, its end will be what I only alone foresee. The Einar heard and were afraid. Then Melkor burned with shame that weighed down his mind and stained his soul with burning rage out of control. Then Eru came, and Eru said, Behold your music! Eru led the Einar forth, and there they saw what all their singing had been for, a new creation. Middle-earth had through their music come to birth. But what they do, and how they fare, another song must sing elsewhere. And I don't know, my stuff is light compared to his. And it's in Mordor. Yes. And Poems of the Pine returns, where we visit, well, we don't quite go into Durthang yet, but we discuss the history of Durthang. Chapter 1, Part 2, Deadly Durthang. We fought the forces at the Forge of Udun, where the sweat of slaves made swords and mail. At Mornar we met the mercenary Rogren who thought to ruin the ringing anvils. With the anvils toppled, for Anoth we searched near the fortress of Durthang, whose fate was grim. Anoth then told us that his ancestors were sent to Durthan to guard the deadliest land. For 1,000 years the Thramdrim stood guard till the might of Mordor amassed again. Stranded from Gondor, they starved and died till the cruel captain killed the remnant. Halanan was spared to spread the word that Ugrikor now ruled the realm. For countless years, this captain of the pit left shields to show his spite. Yeah, nice light theme this week. So therefore, let's head into our week in LOTRO. And Terry Adwin, what were you doing?
Well, I discovered that Terry Adwin had enough leftover tokens to get the not quite but almost Swan Night anniversary horse on day one. And she also picked up last year's dragon horse, which apparently I had not gotten on her, despite having done the anniversary. Well, she didn't really do like anniversary quests, but she did the scavenger hunt last year, so that happened. And accomplished story for the first time in 3 weeks, which involved yet more elves being useless.
Except that these were water-type elves instead of forest-type elves.
They're elves. They've all got pointy ears. They all look alike. I don't know.
Keebler elves.
Keebler elves is what Trish called them. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were still a little help.
They were. It doesn't really matter because it doesn't matter what kind of elves they are. They're useless. They were not any more use than their friends who have no snacks up in Pelagoth. Also, I don't know how this didn't occur to me previously, but I didn't realize. So Terry is surrounded by hobbits. So she's questing in Elflands, and her companions are Pineleaf, who's a hobbit warden, Sanswinda, who's a hobbit hunter, and Black Stardust, who's a Hobbit mini.
No, Hobbit Hunter.
Oh, Hobbit Hunter. I'm sorry. It's a Hobbit. It's a short person.
You're surrounded by fast hobbits too.
I'm surrounded by
All of
speedy
us have
hobbits.
versions. Yeah,
Yeah, every one of us.
all of us have a speed boost. Two
So
of us
when I
will
get left in
share
the
it, though.
dust, I really get left in the dust. There's no catching up.
Fortunately, two of ours are shared though.
Yeah.
None of us can catch Pineleaf when he turns his on, but well, that's not true.
Finally just goes
A war
zoom.
seed will catch up.
So yeah, we did the Raft Elf stuff, which involved actually going to Old Lake Town, which I thought was amazing. Seeing the bones of Smaugs up on the I was trying to describe it to my mom the next day, and she's like, wouldn't they have just built another town? And I'm like, well, for like several years after the dragon dead, there was like dead dragons. I don't know that rebuilding it right there was necessarily on a good idea. That's why they built the lake town like further down the lake. Because I can't imagine that dragon carcass smelled very good when it was a carcass.
It's certainly not unprecedented in history for a new town to be built elsewhere because the old location was unsuitable.
Because it would be stinky.
Yes.
And
bad luck, probably.
Yeah,
Looks like it still
probably bad
stinks.
luck. Yeah, I can't imagine that it smells much better out there. Fortunately, the game is, audio visual, and there's not smell technology, for which we thank everybody.
Yes, thank you.
Not just for that bit of Lake Town, but for several other instances I can think of where I really would not want to smell what's going on in the game. And then I got my.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
What is it? The farm, North Cotton Farm.
North
is that the
Cotton
one?
probably smells like amazing, except for the animal areas.
I would spend so much time craving pie.
Oh man, the North Cotton Farm instance would be like full of pie smells. Like even when you're fighting spiders and they're disgusting, you're still smelling pie.
It would be so hard to concentrate.
Pies.
Yeah, that's probably.
I'd have to have somebody to actually slap me. Like, keep going.
Then you'd end up having to smack your fellow party members. And the other thing I did was I got my Ariad Lore Master out of mothballs again, briefly, to continue some more of the Epic Volume 1 story that she's doing at level 105.
Epic 105.
She'll get through it eventually. It's just it's bits of story that are cool the first time, maybe the second or third, but this is literally like the 10th character I've taken through this content, and I just kind of really want it to be over with. Especially as she rides through Angmar looking for Laridan's breastplate, because elves. So yeah, that was my week. Black, how was yours?
Okay, it wasn't too bad. I reached level 100 with my fishing proficiency. That seems to be my driving focus most weeks now, for some reason. I did also, I'm about halfway through with the Master Fish, wherever that is, the Master Lake title that you get from the new area. I'm over halfway towards that now, which I just passed my wife, so she's pretty angry with me. My next thing I've been working on is the Felagoth rep. I haven't really been doing the quest out in Felagoth because they're kind of tough, and haven't really felt like just dealing with everything in the woods. So I've been just turning in task items only, and I finally reached friend, and now I'm like halfway to ally. So I'm thinking about 6, maybe 10 days or so, I should be at ally, and that pain will be over. And then, of course, like everyone else, I have those anniversary blues where I'm out trying to get tokens for horse nonsense. So, yes. And speaking of the North Cotton Farms, I think I've run that every day this week because it's the featured instance. So I definitely know about the smell of pies. Sam's Linda, how was your week?
My week was good. I got soundly defeated by the final Court of Saragas Tier 2 challenge boss at 115 at the start of the week, though. And it's a highlight. Actually going through it to that point was pretty good. I mean, tougher than Tier 1, but not horribly so. Especially with a Guardian and Mini along. I mean, it was pretty cool. It was the healthiest I'd ever felt in a Court of Saragas run, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that is pretty good.
Yeah, and I probably about gave her a heart attack a couple of times. I feel bad about that, because apparently my morale wasn't high enough, but it worked. I lived. It was fine. And I don't think she had a heart attack, so that was good. And we got to the boss, and we're killing the bats, and it's going fine. And then Killnot comes out and refuses to be killed. Like in one of the fights, he stunned me 3 times, like back to back to back. Or maybe some of the bats got loose from the Guardian and stunned me too. But I don't think I had hit any of them, so I don't see any reason that they would have. And another run, like the Lyrith came running after us, and that ended poorly. We must have tried close to 12 times before we finally gave up. And I'm pretty sure the only thing that I know for sure would have done better is if we had more DPS. So being the hunter of the group, I did a reworking of Sansa's gear, and I hope it's better. But yeah, so that led to some more deeding too, because I changed out some of her virtues to try to get my mitigations to still be decent. And I found an area I hadn't seen before. So apparently, in must be Ram Duath, just inside of Angmar, there is an area with a bunch of drakes and worms. And
Yeah.
I hadn't been there before, at least to the best of my recollection, I had not. And that was pretty cool. And I saw a drake fly by, and it was majestic and awesome, and had a cool green sparkly thing around its main plate, so I killed it. I mean, everything was going down with one shot at that point anyway, because she's 115, but it was pretty cool. And
even a roving threat?
it wasn't a roving threat.
Yeah, because
It was a rare
it was
elite.
just a rare elite.
Oh, just rarely. Okay.
It didn't have like cool green head and stuff either. I probably still would have poked it, but it wouldn't have been one shot. No, it was must have been level 40-ish.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that was pretty cool. And then I visited an elvish resort, testing out my new gear. I didn't notice much difference, actually, on landscape. But, yeah, Hunter. OP Hunter, probably, actually. I've been reminded. But, the elvish resort, well, see, there were some problems there, and I'm pretty sure I found delicious... Well, no, I totally did not add to missing items there. I'm pretty sure that my hobbit, when she was checking the gear, found some crumbs that needed cleaned up or something. I mean, these elves, they don't offer food, they don't offer drink. They just... I mean, sometimes they accuse you of getting into it, so that must be around somewhere. But then I helped with a poorly planned stakeout, and I was really surprised by what was taken and what was left. I mean, really. I'll save it for when we're doing spoilers, but that was pretty fun. So, anyway, Pineleaf, how was your week?
Ahead then into my lore master, who's going through Moria. Since I reached level 60, I thought I would run the spider nest. And I ran through the spider nest and really ripped through it faster than I remember ever going through the spider nest before. And I was thinking, okay, that might take an episode. No, it took, 5 minutes? So I thought, all right, fine. I need more time there. So I'll go and run the Library of Steel and see how quickly I can fail this, because I've never done too well in the Library of Steel. And Master ripped through it. It's the first time I've ever ripped through Library of Steel. Okay, they did at least, I think, one time get up to 6 of those Grims up there, but once I found the spot where there are 5 Grims sitting down, because they're all in the same place, because I'd already killed the other 3 summoners, that finished up pretty quickly after that. So Library of Steel went pretty quickly, I think, compared to what I've ever done before. So I think I wound up, despite the fact that I did both instances in the same episode, I think I still had a relatively short episode when I combined those 2 together. Then on Evernight, my warden completed the Dunlin epic story, which meant I could head over to the Great River. And that's important because that means I could finally catch up with Bingo again, because I was away from Bingo as I was doing epic storyline. I'm trying to do both the epic story and Bingo Boffin on this character. So I was a little split in 2 when I had to go to Dunlin, since I couldn't go to Bingo at the same time. So I helped Bingo in order to get some ink. And then my Crick Hollow warden went and investigate the story of Gollum and finding out various things about him, re-experiencing various things to do with Gollum, visiting his cave and all that fun stuff that you need to do for the scavenger hunt. I won't go into details on that. And that concludes what I did this week. We currently have 17 supporters on Patreon. If you would like to join this illustrious raid of players and help support LOTRO players, simply go to the donations page where you can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. There you'll find rewards, including a mention on the podcast your choice, or even be a guest with us for an episode of LOTRO Players News. And this week, we actually have an email from Collywyn and Terry. What does she say?
Kellywyn writes, first I want to say that I'm very grateful that you all do this podcast every week and provide great information about the game while having fun on the show. Previously, I listened to LOTRO Reporter, LOTRO Academy, and Casual Stroll to Mordor until they ended, and I hope that you will still be going strong for many years. So my question, as a not-so-new player of 11 years, is about imbuing. I really have anxiety about imbuing my allies, even though I've been at level cap for many months. What are some of the things you've seen go wrong with imbuing, and what is the most serious mistake to avoid? Thanks, and keep up the great work. Callywin, my main on Landreval. So this is the legendary weapon discussion that we've been not having.
Yes.
Basically.
So what I did is I just used Daddy's guides for imbuing and all he kind of basically walks through what you can avoid, by certain things you do before imbuing versus after.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know that there's necessarily a right way and a wrong way to imbue. I think you can do it, and any mistakes that get made, you can always fix later. It's just how much of a grind you're looking to put into it later. But as somebody who's not grinding and is getting along anyway, I'm probably not the best person to ask that question.
Yes, I know. In my case, I've got plenty of Crystal's Remembrance in order to cap out that one, but the rest of the stuff, oh yeah, I'm way behind on the other end to it. I don't bother with it. But in any case, I'm not too sure there is a right way with the Warden.
Well, I tested on Bullroar with a bunch of allies once because I was really nervous about imbuing.
Yeah.
And I discovered that the only thing that I saw that made a difference anymore was that if you had an ally with a % increase, I think it was the % increase. So does this % more fire damage or something? And you put 3 crystals on before, then that's maybe 1 or 2% different in the end. But that was all that I was seeing that was different, like with things done before or after. After changing the legacies can be a bit of a pain, but you can earn something like 3 legacy replacement scrolls pretty easily through the epic story, I think. And then it's something like, I want to say 50 mithril, I'm not positive, to change them after that. So, getting legacies that you use might be a good idea, but...
Yeah, that's what I did. I basically just made sure it had the legacies I wanted on it before I imbued it, and then other than that, I put those legacies up to the tier 6s and then imbued it.
Right, that's probably the single most important thing is what legacies do you think you need? And if you don't know anything about the legacies, then, well, don't worry, I don't know about them either.
Things like your Crystal of Remembrance can be kind of fun to use after imbuing, I discovered. Because then you can pick any of the potential legacies from just a drop-down menu list.
Because they actually change too. Some of them aren't the same beforehand versus after either.
Right, but if you wait to use your Crystal of Remembrance after you imbue, then it's not at the top tier, and you've got to grind it up. So again, it really just depends on how much grind you're looking to put into it before and afterwards.
Well, that's true, but now even if you get them all to 6, and then you imbue, you still have a lot of work to do. Like, you still have there's things to do, so... And I'm actually still not really maxed out on all of my things. Because it'll tell you, like, you've unlocked 6 of 24, or you've unlocked 3 of 24, and you still have a long ways to go. Or however many it is now.
Yes, and also keep in mind that one of the last interviews they did, I can't remember who it was, I think it was Sev. Not the very last one, but the one before that, they actually mentioned they're looking at maybe over doing like a rework of LI sometime next year, possibly. So, yeah, keep that in mind.
Well, hopefully they'll give us all the tools that we need to rework them. One of the other things, though, to know, like, after you imbue your LI, you don't have to worry about swapping out things besides the potential cost of swapping out the legacies. Like, you don't have to worry, I put so much effort into getting this one to unlock all the possible tiers on it, and now I'm going to change it out. You'll still have all the possible tiers unlocked. All you'll have to do is re-earn the item experience. So, like, before imbuing, if you had something and say you had upgraded it every time you reforged, and so it was rank 5 or whatever, and then you replace it, it's going to be rank 2. That doesn't happen anymore. Instead, you just earn some more experience. So it comes in, your replacement one comes in at whatever level of unlock you already had for your other one. So, like, if you've totally maxed out your weapon and you change out one of your legacies, it will already have unlocked all of the levels. You just have to actually fill in the levels with XP, which you can use by just popping the little pill things, or, that sounds wrong. Use the XP tome things, or just go fight some things, turn in some quests, and as soon as you've got that XP bar filled again, you're good to go. So, and it's not a huge XP penalty.
Well, and those LAXP things drop.
Oh yeah,
pretty. Right.
Like candy, yeah.
And they've actually finally gotten it to where you can use stacks of them, so that's a thing.
Yeah, that too.
Which is super handy.
And you can trade still tokens right now at the moment for them as well.
Can you?
The anniversary tokens, yeah, there's a box you can get. It's dropping runes pretty regularly. It's like 25 of the steel tokens.
I knew it dropped the relics. I didn't realize it dropped runes too. That would be the legendary box.
Yeah, and has the toasty mode always been shareable amongst your account? Because it is now.
It is?
No, yes. It has not.
Yes, it is. I got 3 of them the other day, and I'm able to mail them out to my other characters.
My God.
Hallelujah!
I know.
That's awesome. Thank you,
I can't
Debs.
believe you got 3 of them. I can't tell you how long it took.
I
me.
know one character got 3, and then my other one didn't get any, and I was like, what?
I'm kind of sad now that I got rid of all the extra ones that I got last year on Sands. I think it was only like 2, but...
Oh, they may not have made them retroactive, though.
Oh, that's true. So
Yeah.
it was probably wise that they're not taking up my space.
Now,
Any-
if they could reverse that with the cosmetic thing and make cosmetics not bound at all, that would be awesome.
Anything else to add related to imbuing allies? If you would like to send us an email, you can send it to podcast@lotraplayers.com. You can also follow us on Twitter, the Players Alliance @PlayersAlly, Lotra Players @Lotra Players, Ariandas @Ariandas, Black @Black Shrubbery, Pineleaf @Pineleaf Needles, Sanswinda @Sanswinda, Terry Adwin @Terry Adwin. The Players Alliance has 4 shows. Every Monday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have DDO Players News. Every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have Lotra Players News. Every other Thursday at 9:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have XP Quest. And on the first Tuesday of each month at 9:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have Chromatopits. You can join us for our shows at lotraplayers.com/live. And that is all for tonight. And this is Pineleaf Needles reminding you to quest responsibly.
What? No skirmishing?
Sorry, I got to DDO mode, I guess, at the end there.